is up, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new episode of JC with the Shot. We are back on another Friday. Super excited for this episode. We got someone brand new on the show. The ego queen herself. She's gonna hate me for saying that in this intro, but I just think it's kind of funny because she gets really defensive about it. But I have Kaelee with me this week. We're gonna talk a little bit about her journey in gaming and talk about streaming in general again, but from her perspective and kind of her journey through that. So I want to welcome on Kaelee. How you doing?
Hi. I'm good.
Chilling, like the cat in the background.
Yeah, I've been sitting there going like this.
I love that.
I know, because you can never see him on stream, so.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of cats, but that's fine. We can have that conversation another time. So, why don't you go ahead and just kind of introduce yourself and like what your journey through gaming has been. Like, what does that look like for you?
Long. I would say I have been gaming since I could comprehend that buttons, like they correlate to what is happening on the screen. So my nephew is about 4 right now. He turned 4 in May, and he can, with the help of us, press the buttons, and he gets through fairly well. Obviously, he doesn't really do much. So I figure that was how it was when I first started, and I would say I was probably 4 or 5 because I had older siblings who gamed. And then it's just been gradually since. I took a break. I would say probably like because I had Xbox Live for a very long time, and then I didn't have it for like a year, so I had like the silver membership or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just like didn't really game in general at that point. But I would say I'm a variety person. I know now I play just mainly Fortnite, but that's because Fortnite is like the one game that I was like, maybe I should actually kind of take this seriously and see where it goes. But like now I'm looking at it like I really, like I really don't, but I do at the same time. I don't know. Anyways, I I had older siblings, like I said, who played. I would say my sister, like my middle sister, she played, but she didn't really play as much as my other sister and I. Like there was literally a video of me getting a game for Christmas, and I was so excited. I like told my sisters, I was like, this is my precious. I was like, you cannot touch this. I was like, this is mine. I was like, and only mine. And then I was like, I've literally stayed up to like 24-hour periods playing. My neighbors played, so my IRL friends played. And then like I played Nintendo 64. I'm pretty sure I played an Atari at one point. But it was mainly a Nintendo 64 and then GameCube, and I had a PSP. I've had a Game Boy, a DS. Like I've literally gone, I had a PlayStation, but see, I never really played like PlayStation games. I never really played PlayStation like that. My friend had, like my best friend growing up had a PlayStation, so I kind of played like Crash and things like that, but never any like shooting games on PlayStation because I didn't like the controllers. So it was always Xbox. And now I'm on a PC, which is excellent. And I'm kind of really mad that I didn't tell I had a PC, but it was one of those like PCs with it was just a big box. Like it wasn't like, flat. Like my monitor is relatively flat, in the back, but it was one with like
the big one.
Yeah, it was an actual back. So that was like a PC that, I played like Wizard 101, Club Penguin. I played what are those? Webkins, IMVU, Sims, things like that. The only
Yeah.
like shooting games that I played was like if it was on like um mini clip or something like
Mm.
that, or like girls games, or like math games. That's what I played with the PC with. But like I should have. I really should have. I probably could have gotten like an i3 or something back
Mm.
then, I don't know, just to start an
Yeah.
i5 maybe, I think. But I didn't. I was always on console, so you know. Anyways.
So seems like
I went on a tangent right there.
no, you're fine. It seems like you've had quite the journey though.
Yeah.
So what is like your earliest memory, like your earliest gaming memory? Like, is there a specific game or time that like sticks out to you?
I just really remember playing 007, like we all had the gold guns on
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo 64. I remember playing Zelda on
Okay.
Nintendo 64, and there was like this mission where there was like these zombies trying to like attack you, and you had to like try and get like these gems or something like
Mm.
that, or coins, something of the sort. I had to do time, which is what he said that on his thing, and I'm really bad with names, so like it's been a while. Um, and like I have a lot of memories of games. Like I would definitely say it was Nintendo 64 though is probably like the earliest, and then I remember being on an airplane and using like a PSP
Mm.
and a Game Boy, and my sister thought for the longest time that I had taken her Game Boy and I had lost it, but in reality our truck got broken into and it got
Oh,
stolen.
love that.
Right? Love that. She blamed me this whole time, and yet I wasn't the one who even took it. It wasn't even me. But I definitely loved GameCube. Like
Mm.
GameCube, even though I loved Xbox 360 and I had the original Xbox too, which is why I played Halo since like the very
Mm.
beginning. And GTA on freaking Xbox. Like, and I remember my dad didn't want me playing it, but I would play it when like he wasn't home or whatever. And like
Always.
even when I got older and I was playing like Call of Duty and stuff like that, and I went back and I played GTA on the regular Xbox, and he was like, "Why are you playing this?" And I was like, "What do you mean? Like I'm grown." I'm like sitting there like I'm 10 years old. I'm like, I'm grown enough to play this. Like, what do you mean? Oh, so I too many. But I would definitely say around like, me playing, Mario Party a
Mm.
lot, getting really frustrated. I remember my sister called um what is it, Wario, the big yellow
Yeah.
guy. I remember we put the computers on actually like hard, like
Mm-hmm.
they would actually play. And he was winning, and she's like, Wario, she's like, you stupid fat tub of lard. And started dying laughing. We actually had little gaming chairs like before these,
Love that.
and this one isn't like even like really like like the nicer ones,
Mm-hmm.
but like it was like more of like a rocking chair type, so
Mm-hmm.
there was that. Meowing so Daisy,
But
relax.
I think you brought up the PSP, and in my opinion, uh the PSP is one of the like most underrated systems that
It
there's ever
really
been.
is.
And it just like disappeared so fast. Like they
It
stopped
did.
making games for it like so quickly. I mean they went to like the PS Vita, which I never owned
Right.
a Vita. I had a PSP.
Yeah.
Um, but the Vita I feel like didn't last long either, which is crazy to me
Yeah.
because it's Sony. And then you see like the Switch and you see how Nintendo has been so successful with like
And
their
this Yeah, and the Switch is freaking awesome. Like I want a
Mhm.
Switch.
Yeah, it's mobile gaming, I think if these companies tried again, I think they would be so successful. But
Yeah,
who
I think if
knows?
they brought out something like the PSP again, it would be really awesome. Or maybe just start selling Game Boys again. Like, no,
We love a
I
cat.
can't.
We love a cat in the.
We love having cats, right? But she's just like, look at her. Anyways, he's
So
so
obviously you've had a long journey from the N64 to PC gaming. So
yeah.
for you, like what is gaming now? You know, obviously, you know, you're streaming, but like what has taken you from like playing casually to like wanting to stream?
So I've actually always wanted to stream, so to speak, because when I played on Xbox 360 and I played Nazi Zombies, I always wanted to record it and have like people watch me play zombies.
Mm.
Like I always said that. Literally always told my friends like, "Man, like I see these people doing YouTube videos." I'm like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, I like watching YouTube videos, but like I want to watch someone do it like live."
Mhm.
And I had no idea about Twitch, which is like makes me so sad because I was like young enough when it started that I probably could have started, when I was literally like 13,
Mhm.
like the age of, that you can stream. And I'm kind of sad that I didn't do that because I could have,
Mm.
but I would say it was when I was in high school and I was a senior and my anatomy teacher ended up actually being Ninja's brother and he told
It's
us
crazy.
about right? Right? I had no idea that this guy who lived literally, the town that he lives in, Grace Lake, is 15 minutes away, when he lived like with his parents or
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm like sitting here like, playing Call of Duty, playing, Halo, wishing that I could be like always wanted to compete in events. Like I
Yeah.
always wanted to do it just because I was like, I see no girls doing it. Like girls don't get taken seriously. Like, I want to be one of them. Like I just always like I'm very competitive, so I always wanted to be
Mhm.
better. Like I always wanted to be better than like my friends, like my guy friends that I used to play with and stuff. Um, so it's like crazy when he told me about this and he told me about streaming and I looked it up and I was just like, "Oh my god. Like this is exactly what I said that I wanted to do so long ago."
Mhm.
And this was around when I was saying it like and I had no idea and I was like so mad and it was just so frustrating. I literally quit my full-time job to want like have a job of basically taking care of this elderly couple just so that I could stream more on my Xbox. And I
Wow.
went out and I bought a little webcam. Like I still have the webcam and stuff like that. And I literally did start doing that. And yeah. And I've always loved gaming. Like gaming has always been like a way of me meeting like people all over the world,
Mhm.
basically. And I've known someone who I've never met, and I've met people from who I've met from Twitch or Fortnite
Mhm.
in real life. And the only time that I ever did that was with Black Ops 2, and that ended up being my boyfriend. So that's the only time that I ever met somebody, you know, in real life and had like a connection like that.
Yeah.
And so this other person that I've literally met since I started Xbox Live, which I think it started in like 2008, I want to say. So
Okay.
I was like 9 years old. And I met him, a few months of having it. And we've been friends on Facebook and he's literally known me and watched me grow up. I'm 21 years old now and he's literally known me for a decade and we've never met. But we still keep in touch and yeah, it's crazy. Literally crazy.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, that's how you and I met, right? Like I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I was playing with Abby and then who will be on next week, but um
She is.
she will be on next week and
Okay.
I think we were playing creative and then I was like, "Damn.
Yeah.
I just keep getting destroyed um by this girl." I was like
No, no,
wanting
it
to check out her
wasn't.
stream and stuff. So, obviously now like I was looking at your Twitch this morning. Um you're at like 6.9 thousand followers. So like, what has that experience been like for you? Like, when did you like officially start streaming on Twitch, and then what is that experience like for you today?
So I started May of last year. I did like one stream because I also streamed on Mixer because it
Okay.
was from my Xbox, and I was like, oh, okay, screw it, why not? And so I've actually met people from Mixer who I've known to this day that I met, before, people from Twitch, and they were super nice and they told me more about streaming and whatnot. But I realized that without a PC, it's like hard. And I couldn't really stream too much because I had a full-time job,
Mm,
and this job was so exhausting. I was a server at TGI Fridays, and it was so busy. I would
mm,
work Thursday through Sunday. So I'd only work Thursday through Sunday, but that would be like 12-hour shifts, sometimes like
yikes.
13-hour shifts. It was crazy, and it would drain me. And then the other days I would game. And sometimes I would even stay up like crazy hours, even when I came home from work, and sometimes I would game. And I did like 1 or 2 streams of that month or something. Like I don't even think it was 5. Max, it was 5. And then I had quit my job at the end of June because I remember visiting my friend who I met from Fortnite for 4th of July. So I did that. And then I started really streaming,
Mm-hmm.
because I would only work 3 days a week, and it was like, I'd be done like at like 3 or something. So I'd have like the whole day. So then I would do like, maybe like 10 streams. And they would vary. And then I would say, this was in like June, and then July I would do like, more. And then I started to do like 12-hour streams, and I started to see like the difference. At first, I went on Mixer, and Mixer, like, I had a really good stream, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, like, this is awesome. Like, I think I had like either like 60 to 100 follows like that night, like off
Mm,
of one stream. And I was like freaking out, and I was like, oh my God, like, what the heck? And then I streamed again on Mixer, and it wasn't the same. And
mm,
I immediately just like was like, no. So I went on Twitch and I got the same reaction that I got on Mixer. And I was like, what the I was like, what? I was like, whoa, like this is really neat. I was like, I got the same reaction on Twitch without the amount of help from Mixer. Cause I had like people who were like partners on Mixer like
mm,
help me that night. And like Twitch, I didn't. And I was like, oh, okay, like that's different. So then I started like alternating, but then I
mm-hmm.
realized like started doing Twitch more, and I started, to see the follows. I got like affiliated within like the first month that I started streaming, only because I knew people IRL who really liked gaming. Like
Mm,
pretty much, I think pretty much like all of my friends, like all my guy friends, like all my girlfriends didn't game, but all my guy friends gamed. So they kind of just all watched. Like my friend actually helped me build my PC
mm,
and set up everything, gather all the things that I needed. So they helped me get affiliated like pretty much right away, but I didn't get my first paycheck until September because then I used that and I bought my PC.
mm,
And then after that, it completely changed. Like I started getting a lot more viewage, a lot more followers. And I actually got rated by American Dad, and I was like, "What the heck? This is nuts!" Like, and I didn't know who he was, like,
yeah.
which is crazy. And then I really am a fan of him now. Like, I was subbed to him for like almost 10 months. After that, because it was September and I canceled it because I had to, due to like, all the crap that was going on.
Mm,
Only a couple months ago. So um that was like my first like thing that I was like, okay. I mean, before he caught me on like like a long stream too. It was like
Mm.
10 hours or something. Like I used to be putting in hours. It was crazy. It was really crazy. And then I ended up getting another job, and they like worked me so much. Like it was so exhausting. Again, it was serving, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
sign up for that. I was like, whoa, you're asking like all these hours when I never said that I could work these days, never said I could work these hours. So I had to take a break. And then I came back, and it was a little slow, like I'll admit, but I came and I actually lost that job due to streaming too,
Okay.
because only because I ended up streaming because when I got home from work, and then my streams ended up being like really good, and I would wake up. But here's the thing, I started sleeping in past my alarm. Like that was my fault, and the job wasn't like the closest.
Mm.
So, but I was never late like super like a really long time. It was like 5 minutes, But I get it. 5 minutes is 5 minutes. And, obviously I learned my lesson from that. But when I had quit, streaming was like better than I had ever thought. I
Mm.
had like not to like flex. Like I feel like this is like a flexing thing, but like I swear it's not. It's just, you know, I'm saying my experience because it's been on and
Yeah.
off. It's been on and off, and I've seen that in how my channel does. Like I check my statistics, and it's not about that. I just do it curious of my own growth
Mm-hmm.
because this is something that I do want to do as a career, and I don't look at it anything other than I just simply want to wake up and have the ability to do this as my job. Like I don't have to, but it's like something that I like to do,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not even like I'm working, like what's better than being able to just hop on and just, chat with people all over the place,
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, and I think you're doing that, right? I think that anytime that I come into your chat, like you have a core group of people who I feel like are always in your chat, and they, I feel like they stand by you, and even like going in your Discord, like and I know that you just restarted your Discord because you
Yeah.
wanted it to be more active,
Yeah.
and I go in there and I'm like, this is huge. Like it's gonna gain traction, and like I said, like 6.9 thousand followers, like that's a lot.
It's
No, go for it.
it's the most that I've personally had. I mean, Instagram, I had like 7K for a little bit, but this is like this is different to me. Like this is, and like I've never had this many subs. I've never had like this many, like it just everything has gone up. And like I swear I was literally just at 6K like at the like maybe like at the beginning of June or like in the middle of June. So like wait, no. It was towards like the end. Yeah, it was like the middle end. So like to be like I don't know, like I've it's just it's crazy to see like if you put in the time and the effort, like you will see the progress.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the gym. Like I don't know, cuz I've always been so impatient. So this has also taught me things, like how to be more creative,
Mm.
how to, because I feel like for a while I just was like a robot. Like I wasn't even feeling, like it was just, and that's when I was away from gaming.
Yeah.
I just really felt like I was a workaholic. Like I didn't really I hung out with my friends IRL, which at a time it was nice, and now I feel like all my friends are online. Like
Mm.
literally all of my friends are online. And there's nothing wrong with that, I feel. It's just kind of different, because I still do miss like being able to like hit someone up and go, to um I don't even know what there is to do in Illinois, but like just to go out to eat. Like that's it. I don't know. Just
Hang
go
out
out
in
to eat.
cornfields. I don't know.
I've literally seen Hold on. I've literally where I donate plasma, I've literally been driving out and there's a movie theater parking lot. And obviously the movie theaters aren't
All
open.
right.
So there was these two ladies chilling in chairs. Their trunks were open and they were just fucking chilling. And I was like, you know what? I was like, that is the vibe that I want. Like,
Love that.
yeah, I mean, now that the bars are open and stuff like that, like, yeah, you can go out. So, like, that's exciting. But, like, what's crazy to me is streaming has given me the ability to meet really cool people whom I have met in person
Mm,
and I hope to meet in person. Like, that's why I was really upset that TwitchCon was canceled. But then again, that gives you a whole year to grow your relationships even
mm,
more and possibly meet them before TwitchCon, but depends. Like in Illinois, for example, I just saw on Twitter that the public schools now are going to be like 2 days at school, 2 days at home, and it's going to be like half the students. So like
oh, that's crazy.
Monday and Tuesday, half of the students or whatever. It said pod A and pod B, but
Mm,
I assume it's like half. Because I was wondering about lunch,
oh
like
yeah.
how would they would need to create more lunch periods to have not as many people in
Hmm.
there. But they decided screw it. Anyway, okay, that's a whole other tangent. Anyways, it
But no, I think too, like you bring up some good points because I think, like especially with Twitch, like the fact that they offer essentially a conference for people to be able to connect and people to be able to meet, big streamers and they have different socials and things like that. Like
yeah.
it provides an opportunity for you to really meet your community. Granted, your community, like people from your community go right, like, and I think that's one of the cool things that especially when I was growing up, like I never thought that that'd be something that is even a possibility. And I've talked about that on
Mhm.
on earlier episodes of like being able to stream video games. Like when I was growing up, like I never thought that was going to be a thing.
Mhm.
Um, and so like with you know being in the streaming industry, and one of the things that you said earlier, like I think early on there aren't a lot of like female gamers like that you talked about like competitively like when you were growing up, and
Yeah.
obviously Twitch is a very multifaceted streaming service. Like there are people who do just chatting, right? There's people that do
Yeah.
cooking and gaming. So like what have you seen as kind of like the biggest struggles, or like what do you see in your community or in your chat that sometimes makes you question if you're doing the right thing, or have you seen that?
I would say as a girl, you always get that, oh, you only have viewers because you're a girl, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, people watch people for many different reasons. One of the reasons why I feel like girls get a little more attention than guys is because they're more interactive with their channel.
Mm,
Like I noticed that people give all these attention to these really big streamers, and I'm not knocking them for not being interactive with chat because it does get crazy when you have
hmm.
like 20,000 people watching you.
True.
Like that's crazy. And I know that it's hard to keep track of things, and obviously they can't have like follow notifications on because that thing would be going off
Oh
like
yeah.
nonstop. And donations, I understand that they have higher minimum, but like don't make it like some crazy amount, or at least acknowledge like the smaller raids that come in, you know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? I don't, so but they watch them for a completely different reason. But like those like middle streamers that are like bigger but they're not like that bigger, or not that big, I mean, they lack that interaction portion, and that's like you know not what the viewers want. So like
Hmm.
that's why like guys who I've talked to, and I'm like, no, seriously, like tell me, like I know you think they're pretty, and I know that somebody can watch someone because they look pretty. Like yeah, I understand, there are people out there who like just like to watch people. Like I watch people all the time. And I notice, people like girls get like, you know, sometimes they have guys come in their chat and they'll donate or they'll give them attention just because they want, other things. And it's
Mm,
like, no, they're like, you should come in here because you want to support me, not because
mm.
of any other reason,
Right,
So
right.
I noticed that girls get that. Girls, like I said, don't get taken seriously. Like I know that I followed this girl and she tweeted how she rated this guy who was had a little less viewage, so she rated them, and he ended up like blocking all of those um raters, and they were like, and he goes like, oh, I don't want no titty streamers
Mm,
ratings or viewers, and it's just like, really? Like, did you have to be like that? Like,
yeah.
you don't have to say just because she's a girl, she's a titty streamer? And you know what? Females have boobs. Yeah. Sometimes, if it's hot in their house or something, or they want to wear something like this, but they actually have big boobs, sometimes you're going to see a little bit of cleavage, and
That's life.
like that's life, that's their body, like you can't tell them that they can't, like you can tell them what to like wear to a certain extent, I feel. And that's a whole nother topic with Twitch as well, on like what girls can wear and what they
Mm,
can't wear, what girls can do and what they can't do. Like I feel like when girls play Just Dance, it's perceived as like, it's like, oh, she's more of like, dirty,
mm.
on that, topic. She's
Yeah.
promiscuous, she's doing it, for attention, and like she knows exactly what she's doing. Like that's like like the type of stuff. Like, I have people come in my chat. It doesn't happen often, but I do have people come in there and just like follow me just to like say that I'm ugly,
Mm,
or that, like somebody commented recently and they're like, oh, no wonder why you're not big on Twitch is, you either have to be one, really good at the game, or two, really pretty. And they're like, you're 0 for 2. I'm just
wow.
like, what? Like, do you go into guys' chat and say this? Like, like, what is this?
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
How
It's
do you
just,
how do you manage that? Like what does that look like for you? Like when you get negative messages like that.
honestly, to me, I just look at it as people are really bored.
Mm,
And they have nothing better to do with their time
mm,
than to go and make people feel bad. Go and make people feel how they feel, which obviously they feel bad inside to do that.
mhm.
Like me personally, I have the time, but I don't I don't have the energy, and I don't ever want to go into somebody's chat and just like say something mean,
Right.
for no reason. Like what?
Like
And
what's
it's
the
like,
point of that?
what is the point? Yeah. And I know that it happens to guys chats. I know that guys, get a lot of, hate on like if they're not good at Fortnite.
Mm.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. But like
Was that an
it's just like
attack?
it's huh?
Was that an attack? I feel attacked.
No, 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 no. I just know that like I've actually had guys personally come into my chat and they get like real heated. They're like, that girl got onto that team just because she's a
Mm,
girl and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, does that team have any girls on it? Like, yeah, I'm sorry, but sometimes they just get on there just because teams need diversity.
mm,
Teams do need to add girls on there. So like, how is that wrong to add her just because she's a girl?
mm.
you know but then there, and I was like, are you attacking me? Like because I got on teams that are Instagram big, whatever, and they have a
Right.
decent following on Twitter, and I'm like, are you attacking me because I got on these teams because I'm a girl? And they're like, oh no, like you provide good content.
Mm,
So there's a whole like there's like, I don't know, the guy, I feel like guys and have like this fine line on what's good content on what's not, and it's all opinion.
mm.
It's literally all opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that that's a testament to just, I think, life and media in general, right? I think
Yeah.
of like when I first started streaming, and like my mom had asked me, she'd be like, "Well, why would people want to watch you? Why wouldn't they just like play themselves?" And I mean, it's the
Yeah.
same thing for like watching like a comedian or watching like a band. Like you are watching it for the entertainment value of that, and people are gonna like it or they're not gonna like it. And I think that's a testament to that, right? Like you should be going into streams for the content.
Yes.
Granted, there are people that are going to go into streams for other reasons. Um, and there's something that causes that down the line. Like, obviously, you don't run into that all the time, but
But
there
you
are
do run into.
people that will go in there and make comments, right? Because either they want to get a reaction out of somebody or X, Y, and Z. Um, so I guess, you and I kind of talked a little bit before the podcast, and I don't want you to throw yourself under the bus by any means, but what has your experience been like with gaming organizations? And like in a sense of, like you said, like there are organizations that will purposely seek out women because either they don't have that or they think that it might help their organization grow. So what are your kind of thoughts on that?
Um, it's honestly, I look at it like organizations see people as, a business kind of transaction,
Hmm.
and like obviously people look, and I don't see myself as this, which is kind of, I should, but I don't. People see me as like someone who's like up and coming,
Hmm.
like I've actually had recently a lot of people who have noticed the growth in both my skill and just my channel in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've actually had people interacting with me, from real life, who found my Twitch channel just from like somebody, my old coworker found my channel just because I was on his recommended,
Hmm.
like it's like, and it's crazy, it's like what, like, and I, like I don't have a problem with it, but like, obviously I want them to treat me the same though,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
like I don't know, I feel like, not to throw any of the other teams under the bus, but like I just felt like, and it went both ways. Like I just felt like I was just kind of doing like my own thing. Like
Hmm.
I would support like the other people on the team, but like I just felt like it wasn't like the family type vibes,
Hmm.
like it was just kind of like I don't like people, like I don't know, like my first org that I was on, 517, like I had met actually a lot of my friends from that team and
Hmm.
being on them, and then like it's like a spider web, it just kind of
Right.
spirals out, with all those connections. Like now I'm stream lead for Divine, and it's like different being like quote unquote, like a lead, because like I have people always messaging me all the time, like wanting to
Mm-hmm.
join, and now it's like I have to determine like who, is what we would look for, what's not, but it's all about, communication and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. Like I feel like orgs, if they're on the smaller side, like not like contract based, it's more about like, those are like more of like your friends,
Hmm.
like just, I don't.
Yeah, I definitely think, and this is what I've noticed in my org. Also being lead for Fortnite and content creation, like
Yeah.
it's almost like you're developing that family and that connection base.
Mhm.
And when I joined my org, like they were very upfront. They're like, "Hey, we're looking to build.
Yeah.
We like your content. Like we want to bring you on." And so being a part of something and watching it grow, I think it has been huge. And it's I at times like the gaming field, and I think of like organizations, is just it's so saturated right now
Yeah.
because there are
Yeah.
so many different people trying to hop on
Yeah.
that I don't know if there's going to come to a point where it starts phasing people out, but I think of, like 1% that just started, and I think of XSET that just started, who are founded by people from other organizations, and they wanted to go and start their own. And
Yeah.
so I think it's interesting to see what that transition looks like. Um, but yeah, for sure. I think, when it comes to that connection piece, like you are focused on that networking, you're focused on finding people that you are going to vibe with. And then, hopefully at some point in your career, you get to an organization that's going to contract you.
Yeah. I do agree it's a lot of saturation. Like I feel like I said, teams that are like that middle level where they can't contract
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, maybe like one person, are just kind of all the same. Like they, all of them kind of offer the same thing. Like I actually just got offered, like I said, a team by my friend who they have, I think, like some partnerships, so it's not like super big or anything. And
Mm-hmm.
they were upfront. They were like, "Hey, we can't contract, but we are, blah 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 blah." They like gave the benefits. They do try and sub to your Twitch channel
Mm.
and, donate, which is something that I haven't, had a team offer or do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they said that the person that they just promoted to stream lead, her keyboard and mouse were like breaking, so they bought her a Ducky and a Model O for her.
Oh,
So I was like, "Oh, okay." So it's not like, they bought her some decent stuff,
right.
and I was like, and they look out for one another is basically what they were saying. And it's a lot of like my friends that are joining, like
Mm.
my long-term friends. So I was like, "Hmm." That I feel like is different. That is more of like and I know that a lot of people have been looking for this when they join an org. They want it to be more of like a family base,
Mm-hmm.
because they see like 100 Thieves, for example, is a team
Mm-hmm.
that that's probably the team that I would want to be on,
Absolutely.
end goal, because they actually do seem more family like they seem closer,
Mm-hmm.
Then again, everything online could be just,
True.
you know, uh, an a an illusion.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for. But it's like, they truly do to me seem like they are more on the right path and they
Mm-hmm.
have, positive vibes. They all seem like people that, and I all enjoy their content. So it's like, you know,
Yeah, and that's some of the stuff that I've brought up in my org is like 100 Thieves is definitely one of those organizations that one, like, I would love to be a part of, and I think all orgs should aspire to work towards. Like
yeah.
they have become so successful so quickly,
Yeah.
and what they are doing is almost industry breaking. Like you cannot try and find merch. Like when their merch goes on sale, like it is gone within like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Um, and that reminds me that they have a sale that goes on tomorrow at 3 p.m. But um, I want to kind of start wrapping up here a little bit. But
Mhm.
you know, what are some things or some pieces of advice that you would offer to, maybe a younger audience, whether it's, men or women, um, for like wanting to start streaming? Like, what does that look like for you? Like, what would you give if you were to give them one piece of advice? What would you give them?
Like I said, interaction, Like I even did a poll on my Instagram, what makes you sub to someone,
Hmm.
what makes you support someone, fully. You sit there and you actually watch their streams, every time that they stream, like um and they all said, interaction, a streamer who
Hmm.
actually cares, pays attention, to their chat. I would say, go and watch other people's streams. I actually just got this advice because sometimes, it can be hard creating new content, and it can
Mm-hmm.
be a lot of people get burnt out. A lot of people feel defeated when things, don't go the way that they expect. But sometimes you can go through like a plateau and you just feel like you're, kind of just staying the same and nothing's really growing, but you
Hmm.
just have to, ooh, sorry. You just have to like think to yourself, okay, what is something that I can do that might bring in a different audience?
Mm.
What can bring in, different types of people and what can create long-term viewers, and like I said, baseline is interaction. So maybe if you do um things on stream that include viewers. Now I know that
Hmm.
giveaways and stuff like that work, but they only work for short time
Right.
period. Those people will not stay. So it's like you have to, always think of things, create like a family type ordeal,
Hmm.
make somebody, like I said, feel like they are important to you. And that's like the best thing. Also networking.
Hmm.
Like networking and interaction go hand in hand. Like don't go into people's streams and be like, "Hey, I'm a streamer too."
Right.
Don't do that. Don't do
Hate
that.
those people.
But like I went into a streamer who was bigger than me and I, found him on my recommended. I checked him out. I find him really cool. Like he said something that just made me like want to stay and watch him. So I stayed
Mm.
and I watched him and I came into a channel and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And he started asking me questions about like myself, and I was like, wow, I was like, somebody's asking me questions. I was
Hmm.
like, okay, awesome. And then he started asking if I was a streamer. And then that's when, I was like hesitant to even say that I did. But, I was like, yeah, I do. And then he started asking about that. And then like I met people through his,
Hmm.
chat. So like that, is a way. And obviously, it's okay if they ask, but like I said, don't go in and be like, "Hey, I'm a
Right.
streamer, like let's play." You can message them off stream and maybe, be like, "Hey, I want to collab or something like that." I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's huge because I just think about this month, and this has for me been the biggest month of streaming I've ever had.
Mhm.
Um and I think of like you, I think of Abby, I think of, a couple other people that I've, started to become friends with, and
Yeah.
thinking about like how active and how I show up in your streams, right? In your chats. And I have made and had followers from your communities, come into mine and partake in other things. And I think you're absolutely right. Like it's that networking, it's that interaction piece that drives communities, right? And I think of like Tim the Tat Man, Ninja, like Dr. Lupo, like they're friends in real life
Yeah.
and they have their communities that also intertwine. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. But if you get into areas where drama starts or whatnot, obviously
Yeah.
at that point you like almost, I don't want to say you force your community to pick sides, but I think that becomes difficult. But I think it's awesome what you're doing. I even in the short time that I've known you, I've seen growth, and you know you are definitely one of the best players I've seen on a controller. Um, I remember when we first played, I was like, she's literally my rival right now. Like I will do anything to get
Yeah.
a kill on her. Um, so I I think it's funny because and like you said, a short period of time you can grow so much. And I want to say congrats on having and being at your top point right now. I think that you are going to continue to grow.
Thank
I'm
you.
excited to be a part of your community and continue to watch that. But I want to kind of give you, you know, as we wrap up, like a little bit of time to promote anything that you're currently working on or promote anything that you have happening.
I have no emotes. I'm so excited for these emotes. I actually, yeah, I was looking at, my stuff and then um he sent me the sketches and they just look so good. Like I'm just so excited. I think my stream like will really like it because I think I tried to pick things that first of all, I need a hype emote because I be rating people a lot, and I needed, a little hype emote because I love those, just because I feel like it's an emote that you can use for anything, But the other two were personal that I chose because I felt like they more touched base with me, and I thought that, my chat would really enjoy it. Other than that, I do want to start doing more things like this. Like I want to start doing, like I want to have other people on my channel. I actually want to do it tonight. I want to do truth or drink.
Okay.
Where chat gets to ask me questions and I either have to answer, I can either, answer it, or I take a shot because I don't want to answer it. But I was thinking of maybe doing an option where chat can, if I go to start to drink or whatever, they can donate $1 and then I will have to answer it. So yeah. I don't know if wait, do you think that's like
against TOS? We can talk about that offline.
Yeah, but I think it's anyways, or I just, my sister does do, she's an OnlyFans person,
Okay.
she's been a stripper before, she's done a little extra stuff, so I want to bring her on, my, channel and have chat ask her questions, I ask her questions, because she has interesting stuff.
I love that.
Obviously, I'm gonna tell her that she, has to kind of watch what she says. But for the most part, I do think that you can be pretty much open on stream as long as you're not like showing anything, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's huge, and we can talk about that in another episode if you're interested. But
Yeah.
I do want to thank you for coming on. I know it's it's been a struggle a little bit.
I had so much to say. Oh my god!
I didn't get egoed this time. That's fine. If you ever try to DM Kaelee, she literally is the worst person to try and respond or get a response from.
Hey.
You can even ask her chat. Her chat will talk about that all the time. But I do want to thank you for coming on. I'll definitely be tuning into your stream later on this evening. I'm excited to see what you have coming forward. And chat, we will be back. Well, I don't know why I said chat. I'm just so used to streaming. We're in that conversation. But we'll be back next week with a brand new guest. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, share the video. Go check out Kaelee. She puts out great content. She is goated on the sticks as well. And I was happy to have her on this week. So thank you so much once again. And we will see you next week.